Hi, I'm Dr. Rutherford. How are you today?
I'm fine. How are you?
Good, good. So before we go ahead and get started today, I just wanted to go ahead and go over the forms that you filled out before you came in. Is that all right with you?
Sounds good.
Good. All right, so let's go ahead and go over the confidentiality and consent forms. You do understand, as far as confidentiality goes, I'm your counselor, and my main concern is you and what benefits you. Um, I'm not only legally obligated to ensure that everything that you say stays between you and me and you, um, and but I'm also ethically obligated. But I also want you to know that I would, no matter what, keep anything that you say between the two of us, solely because your trust and confidence in me as your counselor is important. Um, so let's go ahead and get into why are you here today?
Um, First of all, I appreciate it all being kept in confidence.
Of course, of course.
Um, Secondly, I have a loose affiliation with the truth, at least when it comes to dealing with people that I'm close to, or that are attempting to get close to me. It's either or. Take your pick.
Mm-hmm.
Just the dumbest thing. It's just have a hard time telling them exactly what's going on,
Right.
if
Right.
that makes sense.
That makes sense totally. So, like, can you give me an example? Like, what kind of things are you having trouble being truthful about?
Okay, I'll give you a poignant example. Let's just say my dad asked me, which my dad and I are fairly close, but let's just say he wanted to know what kind of a grade I got in a course, which for most people is pretty ancillary. You just kind of say, hey, look, this is what I got, and you don't really care what anybody thinks.
Right.
You know, I would probably err on the side of telling him something completely different
Mm-hmm.
than the truth.
Okay. Why do you think that is?
But I'm not 100% positive, although I feel like it has to have something to do with acceptance. Although I'm not entirely sure whose acceptance I'm searching for at this juncture, but I do know that it has to be an acceptance issue. Because when I say these things, and there's a feeling of anxiety that comes with it. Like there's a fear and anxiety comes first, and then the lie comes. So
Right.
it's one before the other.
So, so what kind of triggers it?
Usually it can be anything. I mean, it just most of the time I find myself like in conversations with people that I want to maintain a certain level of appeal in their eyes, whatever that means. You know,
That's.
that
I
that
understand
is at
that.
which point it will get. If I didn't care what they thought, I do not believe that there would be any point in lying. Now it doesn't extend really to extravagance with people that I don't know.
Right.
It's not like I walk into a room full of people I have no clue who they are, and I start telling them stuff that's not true. Generally speaking, it really is more associated with people that have any involvement with me, like family, relationships, things like that. That is when it'll start.
You want to appear successful in their eyes.
Well, yeah, successful is a way of looking at it, sure, or just capable, maybe the word
Right. Right.
capable,
And I
because
think.
each lie is different, but none of them are really they don't project an image that is far and away from where the way things are.
Now, is this, now I know we know that we should not lie, but is this affecting you? And obviously you know that, but is this affecting you? Is this negatively affecting your life?
Of course.
Do they find out that you're lying?
Oh, every time. It's a never-ending saga. Somebody will find out.
Right.
And even the stupid lies will eventually all get busted. And it's almost like subconsciously I want to get caught because I'm exceedingly bad at hiding it, and I highly doubt that anybody could almost have a 100% failure rate when it comes to covering something up. However, I do. So I can only assume that I'm either A, really bad at it, or B, it's like I'm tired of toting the guilt around, so somehow, some way it comes out. But regardless, it does. Once it comes out, then it becomes this huge deal, and it just adds to it throws the whole balance of your life off. It's just a constant struggle for, one lie begets another one, then another one, then another one, and it just becomes a snowball effect.
And so you feel like you're walking on eggshells. And
Essentially,
this is not only affecting your family, but affecting you and your happiness.
Yes.
So, and I understand you are not the only person that has lied to their parents or siblings or wives or anybody that's close to them for that matter to want to appear capable or successful or that you aren't trying in life. So, it's good that you're here wanting to work on it though. It's definitely a sign that you want to change as a person. So how do you think this began?
I watched my mom do it, and I didn't actually notice that until I was old enough to comprehend. My parents didn't ever get along, and my mom was... my dad had his own set of issues, and they were numerous at the time. He's mellowed since. But then, he and I barely spoke. And my mom is a very odd personality. She's the type of person that instead of getting angry, she had a way of making you feel worse without actually having to put a hand on you. She'd say things, just like a couple of words from her, and it would just completely throw off your entire your entire way of being at that moment. She could manipulate any situation to fit what she wanted. And I think I grew up watching it, and it was constant. And then you couple that with a dad that was overbearing to the hilt. Like, it was constant, just constant, never good enough.
He was, he had very high standards for you. He expected a lot.
Well, I mean, unobtainable standards in some ways. Perfection is something that in high school I nearly achieved, but yet that wasn't good enough. Somehow I was responsible for their divorce in his eyes, and so on and so forth. And a lot of damage was done throughout those situations that, my parents never gave a flying, what, about whether or not it damaged the children. They were just nasty to one another, and it put us in a bad spot. And I think eventually I wanted to be successful in spite of him. I think a lot of what I was trying to do, what I've been trying to do, is make sure that he never thinks that no matter what he did, or mom did,
that you're okay.
I'm okay.
You're good.
But that's nigh impossible, especially given our history. It's a bit difficult to manage. So.
Right. That's really tough. That's tough. It's super tough. So you feel that your parents' issues, your father's and your mother's, have affected you. And you want to appear successful to them. And so instead of telling them the truth when you're struggling, to ensure them that you're okay, that you're doing well, you tell a fib. And you tell them that, hey, I'm doing well in class, or I'm good on money, I'm good.
Yeah, it's a short-term satisfaction. I mean, it's an instant, immediate gratification for a basic need that I have that I can't figure out how to get rid of,
Now, do you feel good when you say these things?
No. I mean, well, instantaneously, yeah, like in that very moment, like once it's said, for a brief second before you remember that you just made something up.
It's relief.
It's a relief. Because their immediate reaction to you is not one of, condemnation or, dissatisfaction anyway. But when about a minute has passed and you realize that you're going to have to either A, produce something that proves that you're not making it up, or B, maintain a complete farce for who knows how long, then it becomes a bit hectic. Tangled. Because that's an anxiety that I can't describe. It is gut-wrenching. It's a constant anxiety. You're always waiting on the next ball to drop because it should.
So how do you feel that working on this would benefit you?
Well, as with anything, I mean, fixing this would be essential to being able to maintain healthy relationships with anyone, because these lies extend, to people that are close to you, and to be able to have a relationship with either, to have a relationship with someone outside, my family, that would be difficult. You know, I mean, if you keep lying to them, then it's not going to be easy. It'll never happen. Nobody
Right.
wants to be lied to.
Of course, of course. And it's good that you understand that. It's really great that you understand that, and it's really great that you're here today. You know, that really shows that you want to change as a person. You want to create a better quality of life for yourself, because I'm sure that nobody wants to feel like they're walking on eggshells around, especially around those that are close to them. Um, so I completely understand. Um, So I think that if we continue these sessions and we continue to talk about this, you can step by step work on these things, work on your lack of being truthful, and I think that we will really start to show progress the more that you come here, because you seem like a really determined person, and that you realize that changing this behavior will benefit you.
Of course.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it has to change.
Well, all right. Well, I am so glad that you came in today. Let's go ahead and set up an appointment for next week. And again, it was so good seeing you today.
It's good to see you too.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.